Okay, so once again, uh, good morning to you, Ramesh, and good afternoon to all the participants from various colleges spread across India joining the session. This is the first webinar from the webinar series that we intended to roll out, and thanks, Ramesh, for accepting it and be the one to start the series. Okay, so we should be having such series continuously every month. We intend to have such series of webinars every month. Apart from that, we have been telling you institutions you are open to organize seminars and request for support for identifying speakers. We should be able to help you in identifying the speakers on the topics pertaining to XR. So the speakers from our side would be industry practitioners like we have Ramesh today. Okay, so let me set the tone with giving a very quick introduction about Ramesh. Ramesh, a good friend and a colleague of XTIC with me. Today, Ramesh is ending the session from sitting at New York. It's about 4:30 early morning for Ramesh. Okay, so that's another special thanks to joining at so early of the day. A quick introduction about Ramesh. Anukonda Ramesh, a former APAC head for game engines like Unity and Unreal, was born into a farming family in a village near Machilipatnam in Andhra Pradesh, India now. His journey has taken him across the globe. His early schooling was in Mumbai, then Bombay, and professional experiences delivering in various cities projects in various cities across India and across globe. So in India, it would have been Chennai, Bangalore, and outside of India, okay, so it's Brisbane, Shanghai, Los Angeles, San Francisco. And he has served in almost all the metros of Chennai, the Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and uh, Bangalore. Okay, so these are the places where he has served. Ramesh has established himself as a natural leader, known for assembling and leading teams and especially lean management teams to successfully execute projects across diverse cultures and teams. He is also a dedicated mentor, coach, serial entrepreneur, speaker, innovator, motivator, and experienced business professional. He is a passionate lifelong learner. Ramesh finds fulfillment in mentoring, coaching, teaching others, inspiring innovation wherever he goes. Uh, I am associated with Ramesh for the last few months or years, I would say, close to. Okay, so always he throws a lot of energy when we meet. And when the moment I said we wish to organize such a webinar, he accepted immediately, irrespective of the time zone, and said, start. Let's go ahead with this. Okay, so over to you, Ramesh, for a interesting session that we are looking forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ganesh, for your kind words. And it's indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here, sharing a bit of a perspective across few things which are very fundamental in nature. Uh, where we come from, the human approach is languages are the one which creates us very unique in the ecosystem, and we are being historically divided by linguistically. If you look at Europe, you have French, German, Dutch, and if you look at any way how the formation of countries and states have been fundamentally done, is done by virtue of the division of what the people speak linguistically. But the fundamental thing, what we as humans are very powerful, is of that language. And today we are fortunate to be having a unified technological language, which is where we call it as XR. And how it unifies is that multiple folds. And in the next 45 minutes with myself. We have Dheeraj and myself put this presentation together. And what we would take you through is a journey in an AI first economy backed by AI and ML. How would XR be front-ended with interface using multi-sensory communication and enhanced outcome? This is pretty much what we are speaking about the future. And very interestingly, what we did as a quick survey to understand who our audience so that we can tailor make our presentation. And thank you very much, Ganesh, for sharing the insights on to the audience who have been there. We got around 1,500 registrations, and it is pretty much distributed across year one, year two, year three, and year four of engineering across IT, computer science, AI, ML, information technology. Predominantly, we are having the IT crowd. And we asked them two fundamental questions. One is, what is their current understanding of XR, which is augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality? And what is their applications in an AI first? And we gave them four options. Is their understanding beginner, intermediate, or advanced? And we got response around 86% saying that they're at a beginner level. And then what is the second leading question we asked them is, what is the kind of an exposure they have for XR tool development and environment? And those tools would be like typically a game engine like Unity 3D or Unreal, with understanding of Blender or Twinmotion. And more than 58% was having saying absolutely no awareness. 22% has general awareness. Again, we have 12% with beginner level. That puts a pretty large, more than 85 to 90% of the audience who are the information seeking stage. So with that, what we did is we tailor-made our presentation to go deep dive into our core topic, which is we call the Panchabhutas, the Panchendriyas. How does XR have a human touch or human computer interaction touch with vision, smell, taste, touch, haptic, and hearing? And how is it transforming this as a unified global language with the advent of AI and ML is the core of our topic. And by virtue of introduction, XR comes from X being a variable that you can replace A for augmented reality, V for virtual reality, M for mixed reality, or any other combination of reality where virtual reality is where you have an immersive, fully embedded view of a digital environment of the world around you, where augmented reality overlays digital overlays on real world, where you blend both digital and physical seamlessly becomes the mixed reality part of it. With this, let me touch base on the broad topics of the site and how does this transform and how does innovations are transforming from immersive 3D, from the visual fidelity point of view, where spatial design principles, creating depth, creating a dimensions, and ability to get multiple environments and multiple users collaborate in an environment. Similarly, the ability to use color, contrast, and a visual hierarchy, a visual way of putting things in varying lights and backgrounds. At the same time, when we look at the language, people would say just seeing is the only one language, but the seeing along with the gestures, the ability to speak gesture and sign language makes an important role in terms of designing XR applications. And when it comes to sound, we know sound as just linear, but once you have seen the Dolby, you have Dolby surround, and you have multiple ways of playing with 2D, 3D music, 4D music as well. But when it comes to XR, it's much more beyond that. You can use spatial audio where you can link virtual locations with enhanced immersion. You have ambient sound. There is always this sound which is there in the environment where you can negate that. You have instructions which are given as voice instructions, and then you can always use audio as cues to make sure that it is being used to do a much more holistic immersion of the content. Similarly, one of the most important thing, which is an organ which is there all over our body, is haptic touch. Uh, this is a very uh, very immense R&D project. We have a touch lab at IIT Madras. It is both in terms of touch as controlled vibrations, using through a cloud, using full body haptics. And recently, at our touch lab, we even have people who can sense the tactile part on the touch screen, and the screen can give you the bumpy effect. With this, touch is playing a very important role in terms of research, and not that much, but very early stage is smell and taste. There are not much of innovation. People are doing research. Our famous Rahman did a movie on Lee Musk, which is more giving an immersed experience of trying to get the sense of smell and the kind of an experience. But this is the place where there is a lot of scope for further innovation and early stage of it. So when we look at the definition of making a bold statement of a universal language, the language has a base, and the base is the principles of usability and how do we do the interactions of the interfaces. And the four guiding principles would be ability to create delight in terms of creating engaging memorable experiences, delivering that value proposition, delivering that learning objective, and delivering that information or that communication, that experience, with cognitive ease. That's the most important thing, because when you put someone in a virtual reality environment, it becomes very challenging if you are there in an environment more than 30 minutes. So there is a level of cognitive ease, with easy to learn, minimizing the mental load, and ability to give intuitive gestures where what it matches to the real world expectation. And then whatever is the language which we define need to have consistency of similar interaction producing similar results. So this is the where the principles are more important. You get the principles right. When you get to the tools would work like magic. So just as the audience, more than 85% is at an early level, beginner state, we thought it's important to give introduction to the various devices. Most of you have seen it. Most of the colleges have this MetaQuest as the device. It is done by Facebook. That's the third generation of the MetaQuest is currently available. It's immensely powerful, and we have the Apple Vision Pro, which is absolutely having high graphic fidelity. And then, of course, we have the older series of the Microsoft HoloLens 1 and 2, and this is the 2 which was being sunsetted. And then, obviously, we have HTC Vive, both wired and wireless controllers, the big screen beyond, and the kind of innovations are bringing a lot of hardware innovations into the real time use for real world solving real world problems. So, from the interest of the audience who are coming from computer science, uh, most of this hardware is available, and what it makes as a career pathways for students, professors, research scholars, innovators, who are focused both in core R&D and applied R&D, is to understand how are these applications being made, how are this virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality applications are being done. And I would like to pause on this slide where there is no specific XR IDE, integrated development environment, exclusive for XR content. However, game engines are the ones which has that immersive 3D environment, and it became a natural choice for the XR virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality application to choose game engines like Unity and Unreal to quickly create their experiences and start using that as an integrated development environment. So yes, they are not primarily meant to do for XR. They're done designs for games, but having mastery of these tools can definitely launch you in a greater position, both at a core R&D level and an upper R&D level, and it even supports larger grade of entrepreneurial support. So my background, I spent 4 years heading Unity 3D's education initiatives across Asia Pacific, and then another 4 years at Unreal Engine. And wherever I go and do seminars, people would ask me, "Hey, how would you compare them, or what is better for what?" So, in the interest of people, I would give a simple metaphor. If I take Unity as my one eye, the left eye, I would call the Unreal being my the other eye. So I have two eyes of looking at the world. Both does fantastic work in terms of creating a great game, great XR experiences, and I'll take the next 15-20 minutes to give you the salient features of both Unity and Unreal and give the comparisons and show you some clips which have been there. It will help the beginners. And in the Q&A session, the advanced users can always ask me questions and we can go through that. So coming to Unreal Engine is a very, very powerful tool with high graphic fidelity. It powers augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, content creation. Uh, it it really helps to build immersive experiences across a wide variety of spectrum, and it handles a lot of things which comes from a mixed view of ability to integrate virtual productions in films as well. So Unreal Engine, in the larger preview, helps digital content creation overlaid into virtual reality experiences and fully immersed virtual reality experiences along with mixed reality experiences. And the Unreal Engine supports both the Apple ARKit integration, Google Core compatibility, cross-platform deployment. It does in incredibly well in terms of high fidelity graphics, and overall, if you're looking at the VR development, it's quite easy to do it. There is enough marketplace and templates where you select a template, you can pretty much uh, maintain the frame rate, create multiple level of detail systems, and you can deploy into multiple platforms, which includes not only the VR, AR devices, but also into the gaming devices as well. So if you're looking at mixed reality applications, training simulations, uh, most of the times mixed reality has been very, very highly done through early days of HoloLens, HoloLens 1 and 2, and later HoloLens discontinued. But we have Oculus and Apple Vision Pro, which really are pushing the envelope much forward. And the first 10, the basic denominator of VR experiences goes into training solution, environmental mapping, and today we are seeing large applications of industrial use in the space of automotive, aviation, defense, medical simulations, and hence so forth. The beauty of ability to do the fundamental deployment is build once and deploy anywhere. So that's where this game engines very help that no, you build a game engine or experience in a game engine, and you can take it to any of the experiences with photorealistic rendering. And the beauty of Unreal Engine is it supports blueprint, means it supports visual C++ coding without the need to do coding, what they use called visual scripting called blueprints. Similarly, there are workflows in Unreal Engine from a VR editing mode to performance profiling, collaborating tools, and the most important part is they have a marketplace which can do multiple asset management. And with this, I will let you pause here for a second. If any of the learners are curious to learn or use the templates, dev.epicgame.com has a complete, comprehensive, more than examples, templates, reusable templates to use the Unreal Engine to create entry-level experiences, augmented reality experiences, virtual reality experiences, and this would be a fundamental starting point if anyone want to use Unreal and start creating the content. Now comes the advent of AI. I was here last week at the Game Developer Conference in San Francisco. I'm a bit jet lagged, but the most important thing which I have learned on the floor is out of 10 conversations I had in San Francisco, 9 of them were pointing and talking things around AI. And AI is revolutioning. And there is a market toolkit where you can do native integration of the AI through plugins. And these plugins are available in the marketplace. And and it is been supporting both at the creation of 3D asset model, which means to say that whatever 3D asset models have been done procedurally or done manually can be done procedurally, and you can do generation of 3D assets and photogrammetry to create those 3D models with automation and AI tools. Similarly, same thing with generation of audio, generation of textures, and the environment. Whatever historically would take months to do, today in in the video game content creation or AR VR content creation, automation or AI assisted asset creation has put the envelope so further that we need to relook at everything as the AI first economy. Same thing with creation of dynamic NPCs, crowd simulations, emerging storytellings is all driven by AI. And to that extent that we could be able to do game balance testing, game level generation and testing of them, and quality assurance. So with that, what we have is a full-fledged approach towards AI first in generating worlds, ability to collaborate in partnership with various entities or various organizations which can do those tools and push the envelope forward. And similarly, we do have another engine called Unity, which powers creation of AR, VR, MR content creators. Uh, they are very, very lightweight. They are initially done with mobile first approach, with the same as cross-platform compatibility, having AR Foundation, advanced tracking. They have Mars, which is an extension for doing AR VR applications. Uh, it is absolutely easy to build anything from spatial mapping, holographic rendering, understanding of the environment, and support multi-devices. That comes as a go. The key features which supports XR is to build, configure XR with they have a plugin management system which support visual scripting and rendering. The typical workflow would be able to have a story of what you want to build. You deploy that using a template, you test it, you implement, and take it to the next level. So these are very linear workflows. Most of these workflows are available for you to get a view with a sample project at learn.unity.com. You go there, you download, you get to the fundamental. It's important whoever is enthusiastic can take a picture of it. Uh, it's the easiest starting point to get yourself around it. And the bigger opportunity is ability to create tools and AI tools which integrate with both Unreal and Unity and your workflows. And during the Q&A, we'll give you opportunity to ask salient details in terms of deep dive. But overall, if you are looking at Unity support more than 25 different platforms, both from console, PC games, and it supports both 2D, 3D content creation. It has a market dominance in the mobile game space, ability to use AI capabilities across multiple aspects of functionalities. It has nav mesh for pathfinding, behavioral trees. It has machine learning tools and even have physics and AI-based physics simulations. Overall, if you are looking at AI in runtime, Sandisk is what it's a lightweight implementing beta feature given for all devices, including enhanced NPC systems in Unity. And recently, one of the things what they have is Unity Muse. With Muse, you can find whatever integrations you want to do of text-based prompting, asset generation, code assistance, as well as ability to do quick, rapid prototyping within the environment itself. With that, what Unity today offers is to create more than games, more lightweight, mobile-friendly XR applications, enhance player experience because of the advent of templates and increase in making this reusable code, because Unity is a few million lines of code both available in object code and source code as well. And the same thing, the future of AI integration with Unity. Today it has its all basic tools integrated, early adoption of the ML agents. The next generation, it is supporting the prompt based system, and in the near futures we see much more of our natural language procedural generation of content creation. With this, most of the time people come and ask interesting question, which one to choose and how do we compare. uh, Both Unity is very versatile, user-friendly engine which is done in C sharp. If you're comfortable with C sharp and you want to do quick prototyping cross-platform, you would obviously go for Unity. But if you are more of a C++ person who has a fair bit of maybe if you don't want to do C++, but you want to use blueprints, you can choose, and again, high fidelity graphics, you choose Unreal. At this point of time, both engines supports Oculus, Vive, all the Microsoft or the Arcade, both on the mobile as well as the VR devices. So they are fully compatible. From a graphic performance point of view, both can deliver what you want. It depends on the person who is behind the computer does it. But historically, Unity is mobile first engine, so it's been known for its lightweight rendering. Means you get what you get, without taxing much on your hardware. Where Unreal Engine is much more photorealistic, flexible pipelines. Unreal is known for its very high fidelity graphics and lighting systems. Optimized for XR is optimized for mobile and lightweight devices by default in Unity. Unreal is more high on performance. And all these things put together based on the environment where you need to deploy and the choice of your C sharp or C++ makes those differences. Programming in terms of C sharp, it's slightly more accessible. Whereas if you want to directly start doing in C++, you really need to have a much more steeper learning curve. Visual scripting, both of them offer you ways to do, especially blueprints in Unreal, is for it can be used by non-programmers as well as people who are game designers or UI UX designers to show those things. Both of them have extensive learning documentations, and the interfaces are pretty clean, simple, and pretty much the more you spend time on it, you really get comfortable with it. Though both of them are game engines, they have set up XR as a focus because there is a lot of usage of interaction toolkits for rapid prototyping, for both Unreal using their market space, having those demo projects and templates, and Unity doesn't even support WebXR and cross-platform tools for advanced photorealistic stuff. And even in Unreal, they have something called MetaHumans, which is more of a 3D character-driven approach. With this, the four assets when you choose this is the community. Uh, we have a larger base, and there is still more depth of talent. If you are an XR developer, having the design principles, the UI UX of what is the narrative of the XR content you want to create, and then having access to Unity or Unreal Asset Store, learning resources, and support, the ability to do a project which can get you a credible headway, or a credible achievement, is somewhere between um, 3 to 6 months. You should be in a very good position, provided your foundational skills on C, C++, or C# are very good, and you have good UI UX orientation, and you have access to these hardware devices. With this performance and scalability, Unity excels in mobile AR, uh, and desktop VR, and overall, if you're looking at as a conclusion and say, come on, how do I consider projects? Mobile AR, MR, Unity shines. High fidelity VR, Unreal really excels there. So both of them have their own best practices there. Evaluate your project needs and choose where you need to pick yourself. If you are not looking at a project, but you are looking at your team's expertise, you have C# programmers, choose Unity. You are very good with C++, go with visual scripting. Unreal might be much better for you to start. Where you're doing mobile web, Unity offers easier deployment onto mobile and web. If you're doing high-end VR, like you want to do PlayStation VR, you want to do every high fidelity graphics, 4K, 8K, want to play with it, Unreal definitely provides superior visuals. And the both engines are evolving at a much faster pace. If you need to be current in the market, you got to be. They release um, every quarterly patches, every yearly there are new versions coming in. You got to be like a lifelong learner to get to the point where you are. With that, the interesting part of what the future is going to hold, we can go there. There are a few hands which are being raised. I have uh, another like 12 slides which tells about the future. There are people who have shown interest or raised hands. If there are any questions, we can probably take them so that I can integrate into my responses into the road forward at the future. Ganesh, would you facilitate the questions coming through chat? I am on a single screen here.
Okay, I haven't seen any questions on the chat, but if
There are 3, 4 hand raising coming on my screen here asking for a question.
yeah, you can unmute them and I couldn't see.
Unmute or chat. Chat would be the best one, I believe.
Yeah, chat would be the best option.
Anish,
So those
yeah,
people
Anish
who have,
shall raise the hand.
yeah, Anish, could you just type your question on the chat window? Ramesh, as we have the question typed, in fact, I wanted to put across this question. I think you're going to address this, okay, because I wanted to ask on behalf of the student community,
Sure, sure.
where is the future lies for the XR community and the XR world is, and what are the opportunities available for the students who are uh, passing out or looking at building a career on the XR. I hope you would be addressing that in the coming slides.
Yes, definitely. The
And
future
my
in terms
second,
of, yeah, go ahead.
my second question is, what are the basic elements that they need to focus on to start a career on this particular domain? Because people think that many a times people miss out on the fundamentals and straight away jump into expecting things can turn around if I study this. But fundamentals are fundamentals. However, today technology like AI could come in to support other things. Human intelligence is much more than the artificial intelligence, what I believe. So these are two questions which I'm looking at hearing from your answers.
Thank you, Ganesh. Fantastic two questions. The first question is going to be addressed in my later part of the presentation. The second question, in terms of how do we use human intelligence better than what so-called artificial intelligence, is a question which is a very interesting question, which can be addressed in twofold. But the whole aspect of design thinking would be the cursor where I put and expand on it, and I'll try to do my best in terms of pausing on few of the slides which bring the IIT XTIC XR community uniquely positioned to solve real world real problems across the globe. So that will cover both applied R&D and core R&D aspects of it. Looks like the chat is disabled, but in the flow of things, we would have one more opportunity to do the chat.
No, I've enabled it. People can start
You have enabled
typing.
chat.
Oh, okay. I've
Okay,
enabled the
fantastic.
chat. Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, so yes. So in the interest of time, let me just show the few clips, because majority of our audience are entry level. This is one of the application of human anatomy experience in virtual reality.
Feature-rich content
So
is
people
delivered in a
would
deeply
be able to
engaging
look at
experience with
in the learning
graphics
experiences.
and innovative virtual reality presentation. Thanks to the hand tracking innovation, there is no need for controllers anymore. You can use your hands to reach any structure you are interested in. The Human Anatomy VR provides 14 human body systems with more than 10,000 realistic anatomical structures designed by medical professionals. The many tools and functions available make understanding complex structures easy. The multi-user collaboration function allows you to connect up to 100 people in a single room, where you can organize a lecture for your students, colleagues, or patients. All structures come with Latin terminology and detailed description in multiple languages. Look deep into the human anatomy to reveal smallest details with AntMod. The user virtually shrinks in size and travels through the anatomy, revealing the slightest details. The combination of complete anatomical atlas and 3D DICOM viewer makes this product unique in the world. Virtual reality changes the way how DICOM data can be visualized and viewed. Professionals can analyze CT and MRI scans cooperatively in VR, as if they were side by side in the operating room. Supplemented
these
by
are all
other
the examples of the human anatomy VR, which we can share. They are in the public domain. They are available on the YouTube link, so we can share that. I have seen the request from the chat.
Visualization by any other format. We're the first in the world to deliver a complete anatomical atlas combined with 3D VR DICOM.
So with this, what we do is we have the general questions coming in here. Let me take a first shot at some of the questions. Where how one can start a career as a student in XR? Yes, you can start the career by looking at the principles of design of XR and getting yourself to get familiarized with. Um, we do workshops on design thinking, as well as the tools. The tools are the step 3. Step 1 is more in terms of UI UX design and ability to do the narrative of design thinking would be the starting point, in response to the Dr. N. Lakshmi Narasimha Garu. And then we have Muthukumar. How long it will take to command on Unreal Engine? The ability to, once you have the requirements of what you need to do, with the current available learning materials, 3 to 6 months should be a good time for ability to get your handle around Unreal, provided you have prior knowledge of C++? And then, can you suggest any online platform to explore AR, VR links and exposure without Oculus? So we have an NPTEL course which suggests which is done actually in collaboration with Finland University. Actually, Professor Manivarnan from IIT, along with Steve Lavelle, who is one of the co-inventor of Oculus. He's from the Oulu University in Finland. Um, they they conduct a program on fundamentals of VR. Every last year they conducted in the month of October, November, which is a program which is done without Oculus. So they basically have the whole foundational level of VR, and they have deployed that in a Google Cardboard, and that content is available on NPTEL. Is the response for Rakot Kandar response. I'm a student from Vishnu College. What are the sources to learn the best? The best sources to learn XR is the XR templates, which have been there. Would be an easy starting point for you to create any of those things. When you go to the marketplace of both Unity or Unreal, you can get a template and start from those templates instead of reinventing the wheel. What are the best YouTube videos? Better understanding. Go to the YouTube channel of Unity and Unreal, both of them. So a lot of content there. What are the students of CSE, AI, DS, and MEC? Differentiate starting point in the arena of XR. Need clarity. This is a very great question by Dr. Lakshmi Narasimha. So the computer science team, I would say, look at the core R&D. So if you go to GitHub, you have source code of both Unreal and you have access to those tools. All computer science engineer students who have a strong hold on C, C++, C#, focus on writing tools, writing the things which can make a big difference, and that will make you stand tall across the globe, not just in India. You can really get a bigger thing. And in terms of mechanical engineering, get your thing onto the applied R&D, where you take an asset, you import your CAD/CAM file or your CATIA file or your any of your 3D automotive file. In XR XStick, we have an AutoCAVE consortium with a lot of integration done with a lot of automobile case studies for doing it. And then you just get into the tool and apply your mechanical engineering knowledge in telling visually compelling AR VR experiences. That is with Dr. Lakshmi Narasimha. Then we move on to Mr. Murali. I'm working as a UI UX designer. Fantastic. If I want to move this into this area, how would be the career opportunities? And only if I learn Unity tool is enough. I'm not a coding person. Please suggest. Mr. Murali, this is a very good opportunity if you are already a UI UX designer and if you want to move to this arena. Um, it's not about learning the tools is the first step. I would say when you do UI UX for a desktop is a different than you do for a smartphone, right? And even in the smartphone, if you go one step back, we did design functions or things for feature phones. So the UI UX change by the audience, the target audience, their age group, their nuances of how they interact, and the availability of the HMI, human machine interface things. And if you are working as the UI designer, what you need to do is you need to look at UI UX design for XR. And in XR, you got to get to the nuances of design thinking of how do you deliver those learning objectives. And we do workshops at the IIT XTIC consortium, and we will focus future of our session, some of our important sessions on UI UX. With that, I think we are good here. Kindly update the video. YouTube will be shared, not a problem. With this, let me get back to the flow of the presentation, which is Hold on for a second. Let me make full screen slideshow. Where is the future? And this particular thing is pretty much not an independent view. It's a culmination of various group discussions which I participate. Um, the future where you need to be a strong leader is to get a multi-sensory XR design. And today, when I use this word multi-sensory is uh, by default, education learning material, fully immersive learning environment is the early taker of it. And when I recently was there at the Defense Expo and any other medical expos, we see a strong pull from the industry to use XR uh, to solve their training needs, their operational needs. How do you do digital twins? How do you do smart cities? How do you take care in terms of medical training, simulation, diagnosis, therapeutic application? The approach what you need to look at the future is not linear. You really need to take a multi-sensory approach in terms of the XR design and the innovations which are I would say innovation is a small word because the extended reality technologies are transforming at a pace where everything what we do as XR is that the five senses of the language and the invisible life or invisible prana you can call is that AI ML agent. So you really need to look at innovations which are transforming is powered by first layer of automation, and the second layer of automation is definitely the AI ML part of it. And these are not all of these things are not uniform across all domains. So the key future what holds good is a very broader use case scenario when it comes to medical revolutionizing healthcare. It goes from things which can be as simpler as learning content, followed by surgical planning, pre and post counseling to the patients, uh, telemedicine or remote patient care, of course, medical education, and and beyond that, if you look at when you bring a multisensory approach, haptics can be a greater part of it. So if you are looking at most of the innovations which are coming in the medical thing, haptics plays a predominantly significant role in terms of solving those healthcare issues. And surgical planning is still not been there, but in future we would be seeing a lot of scenarios where those workflows get integrated into XR communication flows. Automotive, we have been seeing. I have seen the demo of driverless cars. Before the car really drives in the real world, it drives in the virtual world, millions of miles. It generates the ML and it enhances driver safety, security, and in fact, if you are looking at there is a project which is actually zero vision project, which means to say that the AI agent is ability to drive the car even when the curb is not visible and flooded with water. So human eye, we as humans could not drive if there is a 2 feet flooded water and we don't know what it is. Whereas an autonomous car trained in a virtual world, a 3D virtual world, has that enhanced safety and driving capabilities. That is something which is much more capable than what humans can do with our own perception of vision. Design optimization. This is absolutely where you reduce the design cycles, you reduce the time to go to market, and it really gives a good ROI. And obviously, one of the thing which is the basic bottom end of the pyramid, which is being extensively used, is customer experiences, the VR showrooms, and how do buyer explore things to do. And in terms of automotive, customer experience is absolutely there. Design optimization is there in most of the top automotive companies. The way the world is going is autonomous driving cars, ability to do things which are not doable in real world, and that's where is XR, which is holding good in terms of the future there. The most and highly budgetary spent is where defense and uh, what if scenarios, ability to do things with high precision, combat training, scenarios which would take decision and cognitive stress on deploying troops, tactical awareness, remote operations, and the whole series of maintenance of high equipment, the MIGs and the supports in defense is where XR plays a very, very crucial role. In terms of education, this is going to really transform the way how we are learning content. Um, I would think that we are moving from a knowledge-based economy to an applied intelligence-based economy. Which when I use this word, the whole power of MQ, the ability to use your mind as a tape recorder and reproduce what you have studied in the book is gone. There is no longer that part of it uh, giving you giving you uh, a gainful employment. Ability to meditate on it or ability to apply that knowledge and create real world solutions is a place where I would say your IQ would come into play, and you got to do a lot of practical hands-on training, how the NEP emphasize on, and XR, 3D scientific visualization, collaboration, ability to collaborate under VR, under the new NEP thing. Education is going to transform with XR at a very, very high level, and beyond that, it's not only ability to work on it. XR gives you a much more emphasis on empathy, or if you want to do anything on mental wellness. Recently in IIT Madras, I've seen one of the richest scholar project on doing training in VR for public speaking. It is absolutely, you get into the virtual world, you see and you do it, and this is available for demo whenever people visit our XR center in IIT Chennai. We can show those demos. Is where education is pushing the next level of envelope in terms of moving from a memory coefficient MQ to an IQ. And if you want to be a public speaker and you want to do something on the EQ, emotional coefficient of things, XR is the best place of holding the future. And education is the one of the thing in terms of doing collaborative virtual classrooms, ability to do lab experiments without physically going to the lab could be a very good example and use case there in terms of the future holding there.
Ramesh, quick check on
Yes.
the time. We are just running
Yes.
out. Another 5 more minutes.
We have 5 minutes, so I have one or two slides. Aviation and retail. Aviation is absolutely training, pilot assistance, maintenance, and air traffic control. The four fundamental pillars where the future is going to see a lot of use cases. In retail and manufacturing, product design, trying out the clothes in the costume things, AR, augmented reality, general assembly, and quality control would be in retail and manufacturing domain. The whole market size is growing beyond 125 billion by 2030. 5G connectivity, which is there across India, we have been blessed to have great internet connectivity, and it is the place where it's a universal language. People getting trained on it would have both entry-level jobs and gainful employment. With that, we would do beyond this a series of things covering military and defense, robotic, entertainment, education, healthcare, automation. Because this is the first event, we started telling about introduction, tools, and other stuff. This is what the beyond literally applications, which we will unify across these platforms. This is one slide on our XR community at IIT Madras. We are the first ever haptic lab under the leadership of Professor Marivanan. He is an esteemed professor coming from MIT. We are CAVE consortium members, more than 250 companies doing XR applications. So any student, any core R&D, applied R&D, you have placed there. Ganesh, who is there on the call, runs our academic partner program, associate program. We help multiple academic institutions to grow. It's not just IIT for one organization. We want to be beyond at multiple places. Any question answers, more than happy to do it. Just as the indicator on the series, Ganesh and myself will get the next things on XR on defense, XR in haptics, XR in automotive, XR in biomedical, and XR education. We'll do deep dive sessions in the upcoming thing. With that,
Ganesh,
thank
if
you
you
very
have
much for the
time, we
opportunity.
can take couple of questions if
Yes.
if you have time, we can answer a couple of more questions.
Definitely. So we in the nuances of 1 hour, we are having 2 minutes left. We can take questions. I'm happy to be there for another 5 minutes if anyone has
Yeah,
questions.
so I'll
Uh,
just pick up a couple of questions that are common. Okay, so this is from Anup. What are the opportunities for a non-XR AR professional to pick up on this subject matter?
Non-XR, everyone, there is not yet a label called XR. Okay, if you have like a week of orientation using XR, you would become an XR person. The learning curve is very straightforward. You got to choose 3 of the tracks. You can choose the in gaming world called the game design. In XR we call as XR designer, and then you have the programmer who does the stitching of those things, and then you have the 3D modeler or the person who creates the 3D environment. So based on your thing, you can choose a path.
Okay, so a question from a third-year student of Excel Engineering College. I want to know about EON XR, EON XR platform. Anything that you have?
So today, if you're looking at XR, any 3D asset done in Blender or Maya or Max or even Web3.js or 3JS build, ability to push onto XR or putting into any of these VR devices is pretty straightforward. It's like saving a JPG file and getting the JPG file onto your PC or your mobile phone. That is getting the 3D file into it. The ability to write intelligence on top of it means ability to write physics, behavior, collision detection. You need an editor, and the most predominantly or if I ask 100 people, 99% of the people will be either using Unity or Unreal. If you're looking at Eon XR or any of those libraries, are actually companies which create libraries, okay, on a specific content, label them as their IDE, Integrated Development Environment, which has an ability to do some level of tailor making, of adding behavior onto it. So I would say that if you are looking for the next 5 years, 5 might be too much, 3 years, because AI is changing every quarter. So next 3 years, if you are catching up any of this game engine environment like Unity or Unreal, you should be fairly good to get an entry level as well as gainful employment means you can grow in your career. Choosing any exclusive tools will pertain to you to that environment of that organization, whether it is Eon Exxon, then wherever Eon Exxon is applicable to those 1-2 companies will be limitation of you getting a job.
As a follow-up to the the question from the same student, is hardware part is a compulsory if you do project in this field? There's a question from Ravina.
Yes,
who has asked.
hardware is compulsory. Without hardware, you can survive for 1 semester or the first understanding of the design thinking using the cardboard. But without the hardware and without having an XR lab in your college, I don't recommend it. It's not a good idea.
Another interesting
yeah, but-
question, which is from AVIT Chennai, a student has asked, how is it beneficial for a EEE student? You spoke
EEE
about
student-
mechanical, you spoke about CS, you spoke
EEE
about
students,
PI.
yeah, EEE students play a very important role in smart cities, ability to do embedded systems, chip design, and IoT connected with ability to measure many of the finite elements which are done through industrial automation. So EEE students, I think if this question comes, Ganesh, in our next series, we should add XR for EEE and share the use cases around it as well.
Okay, good. There are a couple of more questions. There is somebody who is asking for the link for the NPTEL course. The course is currently not open for registrations. We should be opening up sometime in the month of May. We will be informing you through the institution. So you wait for us to come back to you on the NPTEL course links. What else? Just trying to pick up. For teachers with B.Ed, M.Ed, how can XR can be used? Is a question again from Dr. X and Lakshmi Narasimhan.
So the easiest part, if my screen is visible here, if you have understanding of C# or if you have an XR lab in your institution, go to docs.unitygrade.com, mixed reality template, quick start guide for Oculus, HoloLens, Magic Leap. There are MR templates. This is the template which I told. I think probably I can paste this link in the chat. You just need to know the limitations of those platforms. Create a sample scene, import a scene, and within a matter of few hours, you'll be able to see your asset in 3D. The ability to make it user friendly, design friendly, AR friendly, you really got to do more of applied R&D, and it is good to have the base knowledge, but ability to meditate on that knowledge and do application of that knowledge to solve a real problem makes you stand out. So there are enough templates which have been there, which has been the so far territory which is being traveled, but there is so much of uncharted territory, and with the AI tools, you should be able to take much more leverage on it. So the NPTEL course could be a good foundation for students to start with, and we can even encourage people for the XR Summit to see what things change from now to the next 6 months, because this is a fast-moving space. So we should encourage people to get insights by staying in touch with the developments. Yes, Ganesh.
Okay, though there are a few more questions. I think we are running out of time. Okay, so we have already overshot by about 5 minutes from our scheduled thing. Okay, so Ramesh, thanks for taking
It's a
your
pleasure.
time.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that too at the
Sorry, I was rushing
4:30.
through, but thank you very
4:30
much for
morning.
giving the context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so nice to
Thank you,
have
sir.
you. Wish to have more sessions. Thanks, Manjula, for coordinating the efforts, plus
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
special thanks to Professor Manivannan to support and encourage all of us in doing such sessions. Thank you all. Thanks to all the institutions which has taken initiative and ensured your students have participated. Please share the photographs if you haven't shared it in the group that we have. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Bye.